So all relationships do have their ups and downs, obviously, and good communication habits can help build a strong relationship, a strong partnership, and it can also make conflicts a heck of a lot easier to navigate and deal with.
Right.
So we always hear it from professionals. We read it in magazines. We see it online, how important communication is to relationships. But a lot of people don't know how to communicate effectively or how to apply it to their relationships.
All right. Okay.
So let's break down the definition of communication.
All right.
That is the imparting or interchange of thoughts, opinions, or information by speech, writing, or signs.
Okay.
Specifically, we're going to go speech.
Yeah. We ain't out here writing and
please don't write.
Yeah.
Please don't text.
Yeah, texting
when it comes to important conversations, because the tone in the text is going to be read oftentimes way differently than what you're meaning it to say. So try not to have important conversations via text.
Yep.
We still fumble with that sometimes in regards to the podcast and stuff completely misunderstood.
Yeah, even when you're talking on, sending a text message, you might answer with a one-word response. It doesn't always mean that you're feeling some kind of way.
Right. Some people interpret that as like, oh, you in a mood?
Like, nah, I'm straight. I just said yeah, so I'm busy. So, I'm doing something right now. So I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, you acting funny.
Right.
What? Man, what you mean I'm acting funny? Then that starts a whole other conversation.
Yeah, so now you might be in a dispute.
Yeah, straight up.
So the definition allows us to better understand how communication helps you explain how you're feeling and what your needs are to your partner.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think that's what I'm going to use as a title. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You acting funny.
You acting funny?
All right, go ahead. Anyway. This is how we come up with some of the titles sometimes. Anyway.
Brainstorming.
Yeah, all right, go ahead.
So we've experienced communication problems early on in our relationship.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, most of it was, outside of just, being vulnerable enough to just talk about, things that we really felt like we needed to say. It was kind of more like we weren't just able to be upfront about our feelings, which is still, communication thing, because you need to be upfront to say how you feel. And I think it was some fears there.
It's a trust thing, definitely. Yeah. Sometimes, you go from one relationship and you get hurt.
Right.
And some of the things you might have shared with that individual was used against you.
Right.
Might have teased you about it or, did something hurtful because you hurt them inadvertently or whatever the case may be.
Straight up.
So for us, that was our issue.
Yeah,
transparency.
Yeah, being transparent.
Transparency and clear communication. So sometimes you just got to have the balls to put yourself out there on a limb and be like, look, I kind of don't really tell you exactly how I'm feeling because I'm afraid you're going to use it against me because other people in the past have.
Right.
But then you're not really giving the relationship a chance.
Yeah, that's how you work through stuff. You got to communicate so that people know where you stand. Like, if I don't know where you stand with it, I could be walking over you and not trying to do it purposely, but you just feel that way. And it's like, all right, we got to correct some stuff. So, yeah, that's important, you know what I mean, to communicate for sure. Because that was definitely a trial for us in the early beginnings, man. Yeah.
The trust thing, I think that's where a lot of people get it, where if there's no trust in the relationship, there is no relationship, because it does play a big role in communication.
Straight up.
You have to trust what you're saying to the person is not going to be used against you. Mm-hmm. And you have to trust that they are going to handle you with care.
Right.
And handle the information being given to them properly.
Yeah. Yeah, straight up.
So we got a few tips because what we do is research. And I know for a fact that when we were having our communication issues, even most recently, it's like, look, I need a refresher because I need to be able to communicate what I'm trying to say or my feelings to you so that you can understand it better.
No doubt. It's we're our own best test subjects, like straight up.
And best friends.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the information we're giving you guys obviously is research, but it's also coming from the things that we've
trial
had to do.
And error. We've also used these.
Yeah,
we do use these actually.
Yeah, straight up.
And we're still building healthy communication. Yep. As I don't think anybody else has mastered that, because nobody is a mind reader. And keep that in mind. Nobody's a mind reader. Would it be nice at times?
Yeah. At
times it would be.
Yeah, and just for transparency with our listeners and viewers, bruh, everything is not, unfortunately, everything is not always peaches and cream. You know? So everybody's going to think, oh man, this is this is that. Every relationship has its, bumps in the road, things that you guys gotta fix.
Some might be more often
straight
than
up.
Not,
yeah.
But...
And don't let this social media fool y'all.
Oh yeah.
And get y'all thinking that everybody out here just living it up like their life is just the most perfect life you've ever seen.
That's the part.
That's not
the
that's
highlight
not
reel goes out on, right. And then the next thing you know, when like they're divorced or
it's divorce week.
Yeah.
right.
They're no longer there, and it's like, yo, you look so happy a month ago.
Y'all was just cool. So it's all part of the process, man. You know what I mean? And if you truly love the person that you with, hey,
you're gonna try.
You definitely gonna make it work. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I just had to throw that out there. Just keeping it real with y'all. Because I know y'all always see us laughing and smiling in the thumbnails. Like, look at them. Look at them. But anyway, go ahead.
I'll power drive you in a minute.
Yeah, that's what you think. She don't want me to hook up, y'all. She ain't ready for that. All right, let's go.
Okay, so be clear when you communicate with your partner and double check your understanding of what your partner is saying.
Right.
This is something that we recently struggled with because I can hear something and interpret it one way, but what he is really trying to say is not that. So then now I'm answering his question, or I'm telling him something that has nothing to do with really what he's trying to convey.
Yeah.
So it can be a bit frustrating and slow in the beginning when you guys are trying to practice this, because it's easier if you don't speak very long, like go on a tangent for 20 minutes and make 10 points.
Yeah.
And then the other person is now stuck in the beginning because they can't follow 10 points. Yeah. But they also have something that they want to say.
Yeah.
So stopping and checking with the person, like, are you following me? And if you're not,
that's crucial, man.
If you're not, be like, no, I need clarification on this.
That's crucial because I'm not going to even lie. I know sometimes I talk in riddles. Like, I could be talking and then I'm literally like the person, if you guys have ever asked for directions in certain places, and I'm not the person that give you the literal street names and all that. I'm the person that's like, yeah, man, so old boy on the corner, he going to be selling candy, and then you going to see this little girl over there selling lemonade on that street. That's why that'll let you know you're on the right street. Make a right, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about all these other things.
Well, people from Hawaii use landmarks. We use landmarks too.
Yeah.
But you might actually add in there. He'll be like, okay, so you're going to have to make a right at that McDonald's, but don't eat at that McDonald's because their food is trash. You want to eat at the next McDonald's that you're going to see 3 lights down. Yeah,
but you don't got to worry about that McDonald's. That ain't where you're going anyway. You're going on the other side of the street where there's a Burger King. And that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, I start kind of, I add a lot of extras in there, and that's how she gets lost in the conversation. And then I'm like, what you mean you lost? How you lost? I done told you everything you need to know. I done gave you facts. That's how we get, sometimes she'll be like, I'm lost. And I had to learn to be like, okay. Spinning. She, and then sometimes she's very literal. And then there's times when she's not literal. And then I'm trying to be literal. And I'm like, oh, now you don't want to be literal. So, it's a work in progress when it comes to all of that. But it's important to know your personality and to communicate with
when
your partner.
When you need clarification, if you're misunderstanding something, and checking to see if the person is following you, and don't be offended by that. Mm-hmm. If you are really trying to have a conversation and work through some things, you need to make sure that the other person is not feeling some kind of way.
Right.
So sometimes you need to check your emotions at the door, because oftentimes it's the woman that say, we need to talk.
Yeah.
And sometimes men get very they get on edge about it, right? Or they might already be on the defense, like, what I do now?
Yeah, what's going on?
So they already feel some kind of way going into it. So
right.
Try to practice that.
Yeah.
Number 2 would be set aside time to talk without interruption. That's from anything. That's from phones, people, computers, kids. Especially if you want to have an important talk and there's kids around, have that away from the kids, even if it's a good conversation. Sometimes you just want to show your appreciation and let your partner know, like, hey, I've seen everything you've been doing this week and I really, really appreciate it. So I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah. True that.
Obviously, it might be a longer conversation than that. But anyway.
Yeah.
So if you're in the middle of a dispute, acknowledge that a discussion needs to happen. We need to talk about this and then move to an appropriate place to have that conversation if you can.
Yeah.
If you can't, agree to visit it later.
Yeah.
When you get home.
Right.
Or if the person is angry or both of you are angry, look, we're going to talk about this, but not right now because we both way too emotional and too upset to have the conversation.
Yeah, that's important, man.
Because your emotions are also a distraction.
Yep. You got to let your emotions simmer down. Sometimes it's just not good to have those discussions when you know everything is built up. You need to be able to have more control over your emotions. And
it helps to actually help you get your point point across more clearly. Right. So sometimes taking a walk and being in a neutral environment can help people to feel more open and relaxed when having conversations like that. So you might want to try it out or identify if nature puts you at ease. Yeah. And then go ahead and have a talk maybe outside while you walk or just sitting in your yard if you have a yard.
Yeah. And, to add to what you're saying, like, don't be afraid to and that's part of the communication part. And it does tie into the vulnerability, but don't be afraid to have these conversations with the person that you're with because you need to know these things. It's important that both of you guys are on the same page. So the only way you can truly be on the same page is if you kind of know, how your significant other communicates. If you know how she communicates, then okay, then this is how this is, and this is what she could potentially mean. But you can clarify it. Don't speculate. Don't guess what she's saying or what he's saying. Both of you guys need to communicate and say, all right, is this what you mean? That's not what I mean. Okay, can you clarify with me what you mean?
Break it down.
That way I know where you're coming from, and then we can go from there. Because the speculation part that's recipe for disaster. Every time you start speculating, well, that's what I thought you meant. Nah.
Oh man, we had that happen just the other day about something so simple like
that ain't what I
cleaning
meant.
Something. I did not need your help, sir.
Yeah,
well, I assumed you did.
Right.
You shouldn't assume because I already said I got it.
Exactly. So, simple stuff like that, man. So that's important.